Okay, so Dead Space 2023 review, I guess. Having completed it now. Um, yeah. Obviously, I like to start on positives, what I liked about the game, and go to negatives, what I didn't like about the game. One huge positive. Why am I all blurry? Stupid webcam. Huge positive. It's not Resident Evil 4 2023. It's not the Resident Evil 4 remake. That's a huge thing in its favor. That was not a great game. Anyway, what I liked, atmosphere, setting, the Ishimura felt lived in, which was nice. Even though it was a very linear game, there was enough exploration to do, and the backtracking. Brave of you to say that, Bubs. Not only have I said that, Ari, not only have I said that, I have said that in a review for a different game. If anyone does want to know my full thoughts on Resident Evil 4, you can see those at gamerdating.com. There is a review up there right now for RE4. But back to the Dead Space review. The Ishimura felt lived in, and as I say, there was enough exploration that the game didn't feel too linear. Obviously, it was extremely linear. The game, I think the original game was like 2008. And in some respects, it did feel like a game from 2008. They didn't stray too far from the original. And I think that kind of worked in its favor in a way. It allowed them to focus more on like adding the side missions, which were a lot of fun and actually had tangible rewards in the case of the stasis module. Actually having those rewards wasn't necessary per se, but it's great. It's really appreciated. And being able to follow Isaac and Nicole's story. I did close the door. Yeah. Being able to follow Isaac and Nicole's story throughout the events leading up to the game was nice. You make it sound like games from 2008 were bad. I make it sound like games from 2008 haven't aged terribly well, as a rule. Firmly in gaming's brown period. Controls were fine. There were some niggles. I'll get into that in a bit. The sound design was fantastic. They made a big deal about an AI director, liberal air quotes, in charge of like the lighting and the particle effects and enemy spawns and ammo drops and stuff. I played through on medium. I didn't really feel like I was particularly being tested at points that I recall. Obviously, it's been a while since I started the game. So your mileage may vary with that. I did like the use of lighting throughout the game to build tension. And the particle effects were well done. They weren't overused. Some of the lighting was a bit much, I felt. Some of the flashing lighting. So that is obviously, yeah, your mileage may vary. I do get... my muscle tics do play up if I'm exposed to too much strobe effect. So that... can be an issue. Really, really like the trigger warnings and the options to censor some of the triggering scenes, so that you don't have to, see them. Obviously, it's a horror game. There's still going to be horrific stuff in it, but the fact that it would blur some of it out for you, or I guess mute it if it's an audio log, was really nice of the developers. Who didn't have to do that, but I hope we get more of that in games going forwards. I'd definitely be here for that in more games going forwards. Downsides, it's a game from 2008. There's like Isaac still feels clunky. Feels better to move than the original. And again, I played through like the first third of the original, I think it was. Isaac feels better to move now. Feels better when moving now, but still not terribly fluid. Although he's obviously wearing a big heavy engineering suit, which does get armor as you play, so you can kind of work around that. My main issue, actually, in fact, the biggest issue I have was just the controls. Yes, you can remap the controls, but as we experienced, they don't work properly when you do. Because I had, obviously, stasis pack usage, which defaults to B. I had that bound to both right trigger and right bumper at points, and it was still triggering when I wasn't wanting it to. So that was mildly annoying. Like I was holding left trigger to aim and pressing right trigger to change the direction of the plasma cutter and it would refill a stasis pack. That's just annoying. And sometimes it would use a stasis pack when I fired, when it's bound to right trigger. So that's it. I don't, apart from some clipping issues with the ragdoll physics going through physics objects, level geometry. There we go. I don't really have any major bugs. Obviously, I've played this since it came out. I think I started playing it at launch, and it's had some updates since then. But very solid. I've had a couple of frame rate issues on the Xbox Series X, but you kind of expect them on the console, at least. So there's nothing really to write home about in terms of performance. There were, as I said, some clipping issues with physics objects going through level geometry. But that was really it. The main problem was just the fact that you can rebind the controls quite comprehensively. Didn't work terribly well in certainly the instances I rebound them in. But all of that aside, I would give this a solid 9 of 10. That missing one is just the controller issue. And there's a lot of controls that they had to bind to the controller. So I think they did the best job that they possibly could. But yeah, if you agree with this review or you disagree with this review, but obviously please do let me know what you think in the comment section of this YouTube video. If you would consider subscribing to the YouTube channel, it would help me out. Obviously, you don't have to. And if you would consider following me on Twitch, twitch.tv/ComradeBubbles, that would help too. The relevant link is in the video description, along with links to my Ko-Fi page and my merch store. But until next time, please do stay safe, please do stay healthy, please do stay wholesome. And Dead Space 2023 was a very good game. I'm happy I played it. Hopefully chat enjoyed it. And hopefully you enjoyed it on YouTube. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.